All right, I think we're in focus now. Let me see if I can just get that a little bit better in. What's going on, guys? What's going on? We're going a little bit live before we go to CES tonight. Hang on, hang on. Don't fall up. There we go. We are almost in this. Glad no one gets to see the BTS of the craziness before this gets started. I'm going to kind of establish this right now. I'm not leaving the filmmaking niche. That was just a title that I decided to make because there are some things that need adjusting, I think, on this channel. One sec. I'm going to just... As people start piling in, I just got to fix this Blazar Remus lens for a sec. And then we'll recalibrate this. Oh, I think I made it worse in just the other direction. This was stupid. Let me know if that anamorphic squeeze looks like slanted to some degree. Also, let me see if I can see where that... Yeah, that is so bad. Hey, man. Hello. Enjoy... Oh, there you go. Sub chat. What up? Get your hand out of my face. Yeah, no. So give me 1 second. I'm trying to fix this anamorphic lens, and I try to fix it, and I just made it worse. So give me a minute. Hey, Jason Morris. Uh, Me and Jason got a very weird Instagram follow today, and I don't really know where that's gonna go. Well, it's kind of straighter. Is it fisheye type sheet? All right, so let me recalibrate this. That looks better. Yeah, the mic in the mouth. Hey, it is what it is. All right, all right, Bryant. Cut me some slack. I'm trying to do my best here, okay? I'm a one-man operation. All right, chat. What's good? I'm actually going to CES tonight. Right now, it's like 3:04, and my flight's at 8. I'm pretty much done everything. I'm recording a video for a nice little product launch that's coming up near the end of the month. But I wanted to talk about the filmmaking niche and not necessarily leaving it. That was probably hyperbolic. I admit that. But the idea of like it kind of changing a little bit, kind of going forward, and maybe doing things a little differently in terms of this whole sphere. Zombie House Nasty Business. Hey, you know what? This mic is clean, okay? It's in my hand. It's in my bag. It's my microphone. It's mine. Let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if the audio is decent. Also, somebody, can you guys like go to your YouTube homepages and make sure that like nobody else that Cute Kendrick is live. Who's Cute Kendrick? Damn it. Every time I go live, there's somebody else that's on live. And it sucks. Oh, super chat from Cam Mackey. Shill tax. You know what's hilarious, Cam, is I feel like we've been sending the same $10 to each other back and forth, which is great. It's hilarious because it's kind of like, no, like you owe me one, now you owe me one. So it's been kind of a fun back and forth to see how things go. Yo, dude's getting a lifting session while listening. Emerson, I just did legs before, which was probably a bad idea. I don't like doing legs before flights, and it hurts a lot. So it's never fun, but I did it today. Oh, I am Q Kendrick. I'm about 130 pounds and about 7 inches taller than Kendrick Lamar, at least. But yeah, so talking about the filmmaking niche and kind of things that I've observed and things that I want to kind of do going forward. Again, I'm not leaving. I made up a title because I couldn't think of anything. But yeah, I think in 2022 and 2023, I feel like the expectations of contributing to the niche has changed a little bit. Before it was, except your Canadian dollar is devaluing on your end. Hang on, I can broadcast this. Hey, Cam, mind your business, okay? Hang on a second. Let me go to my story first, and I will do the Q&A stuff later. body shaming himself. Hey, that ain't body shaming, bro. I'm a man of size, and I could wear that proudly. And yes, PPL. Okay, we talk about the topic. At least we can get the story part out of the way, and we'll talk about chat later. But essentially what ended up happening is over the last couple of years and kind of being in the filmmaking niche, the expectations have kind of changed to a little bit where on one end they've kind of increased and on the other end they've kind of decreased. So on the increasing side of things, there was a call to see a lot more people in the field and actually doing things. And it didn't necessarily matter for a long time what you were working on as long as you were working on something and you were teaching that back to the audience. And that was something where I liked the technical side of things, but I also liked to use it. That was a part of the tech that I liked, was using it in real life. And through 2022, in the beginnings of the channel, I would use my Sony FX6 religiously, and I would use it for every client project, and I would teach whatever I learned back to you guys, but in the format of talking about the tool being used. And that was fine and good. And I think what ended up happening, and it was a good thing, where a lot of people felt a little bit out of touch because, yes, some of the ENG cinema cameras are great, but they're not as affordable as one would like. And right around that same time is when the FX30 came out. Now, on Threads, I left a... this is like a side tangent story as to how we're talking about the FX30. But I left a kind of a video idea called Mark Doesn't Know That He Paid for My FX30. And for those of you guys that don't know, I've worked with Mark Bone quite a bit, which was kind of the foray into YouTube in general. And around the time that AOD came out and they did affiliate marketing at the time, even when having a smaller channel, the affiliate marketing generated enough to buy the FX30. And then I bought it. And that was right around the time people were saying the FX6 is great. I love the information. I don't have that camera, nor do I have access to these things. So if there was a exact same information to something more accessible, and that kind of started the ball rolling with the FX30 stuff. And obviously that did well. A lot of you guys are here from that. But in 2023, it became more the demand for higher production stuff, which was fine, I think, in a lot of ways. But what ended up happening, and the reason why it became a little bit unsustainable over the last year or so, was if you're on some of the bigger sets, you're not allowed to go and shoot YouTube videos. It's a really hard thing to do. And B, if you had to shoot at spec, you have to pay out of your own pocket. And unfortunately, a viewer view doesn't necessarily sustain being able to do that on a regular basis. So something had to give. So a lot of us started doing a brand collab that would work for spec projects. So we would work on projects, but they would be sponsored by Artlist. I've done a couple spec commercials where Artlist was actually the sponsor and technically the client instead of having client work. And that kind of changes how you do client work. And then I found near the end of 2024, even that became something that wasn't worth it, I guess, to some people. They said they wanted real world, not set up, which is odd because regardless of who's paying for it, I think you'd still use cameras and lights. And that started to change things. And it feels kind of like the goalpost being in the filmmaking niche constantly gets moved. And the goalpost gets moved higher and higher, while at the same time the inputs from the folks moving the goalpost hasn't changed. But then there's also now the resurgence of people that are doing more story-driven pieces. And now, when I mean by storytelling, I don't necessarily mean making a short film for every single video. It's great to see them, but it's not necessarily. If you have a beginning, middle, and end to any sort of narrative that you have based on the title and the thumbnail, as long as you can take somebody through that, you've effectively told a story. And I've been watching a lot of vloggers do this, and it's been really interesting how they've just said, use their own life, and they've brought you to a part of their life and they tell you the beginning, the middle, and the end. And you'll see a couple of people do this, and I'm trying to do a bit more myself, where even if we're talking about some of the tech tools and stuff like that, instead of stressing it out, making sure that I'm making some Netflix quality, whatever it is, in order to justify talking about the thing in the first place, just going through the actual storytelling of I bought this thing. Here's what it does. I've used it. I've learned this thing. I've learned that thing. And not super focusing on what's on the spec sheet and then fighting over rolling shutter or fighting over how big the sensor actually is and all that other stuff. Those things are still important to know. People still need that information. But I think one of the things I want to try doing is adding more vlogging components into it without trying to make things bigger than what they are. Because at a certain point, it feels too far away from the audience, where I might work on something with an NFL player, and we have a project like that going on next month, and it might have a bunch of things and components to it. But if I'm somebody watching this that wants to learn something, I'm going to have a disconnect because a lot of those resources aren't available to me. So being a little bit more about talking about eye level, which is something that like I try to do at least to the best of my ability. Well, sometimes I hit, sometimes I miss. I want to try to incorporate more vlog stuff into it, because I think where the filmmaking genre is going, and again, me and Cam talk about this ad nauseum every single day. There is a ceiling in terms of where you can go in terms of gaining an audience, and the reason why that is, to do an action that you've learned from the video requires a lot of resources or a lot of time. There are so many questions in here, and I try to like look at the lens and focus on that while we're talking. But yeah, in terms of the high production filmmaking niche, I'm starting to come into a couple of roadblocks. One, in terms of outreaching and teaching people, that window gets smaller and smaller, because a lot of ways as you kind of grow, you need other people, and there's not really a video to teach you how to work with other people, because that now involves two separate people that you now have to manage, or multiple people, and you can't account for different personalities. So the easiest thing to do is to document those things. But also, like, some of you guys are where I was a couple years ago, and you're still kind of doing this on your own with a couple of friends. And I kind of liked that part of where my filmmaking journey was, and also leaving options open to take on some other stuff whenever it comes up. And there are some of those. But I wanted to get that off the chest. I'm not leaving the filmmaking niche per se, but I do want to change how I do stuff, especially when work isn't busy, and it's not busy for like a lot of people in like professional production. I know there's this sense of, we want to see things in real life. We want to see the production sets. One, I think when like asking somebody to take that risk, I think there should be some sort of a paywall, to be honest with you, because you are taking a risk on your reputation and also taking away from the set. And those are conversations that I'm kind of thinking about later on, as maybe leaving those type of shoots into more of a private community. But also a lot of those stuff require a lot of resources, time, money, and paying other people to be able to do some of these things. So there's that. I'm going to try to go to the chat, and like, I can catch up. There's not a lot of people in here, but I wanted to start off with that. Just to kind of preface where I think the channel's going. A lot of things aren't going to change. I did really like doing that Fuji GFX 50R video. It kind of felt vloggy, but I came back and forth to my office. But once Canada's a bit warmer, and speaking of Canada, some very big news happened in terms of the world of politics that I don't pay attention to. So, whatever. Othello, audio is solid, bro. Thank you. I'm using the DJI Mic 2. It's hooked up to the receiver that's hooked up to my Blackmagic Pixis on this Blazar Remus lens. Shill tax. Yeah, that's what we're calling super chats now. If you want to send a super chat, I'm not going to stop you. I think I went through all these. Josh Hoyle, what dual ISO do I use? I have the FX30 and a Tamron 17-70. I'm often underexposed. The only two base, like the two base ISOs that you can use, or I think it's base or native, I can't remember, but the two ISOs you can use is 800 and 2500. Truthfully, for me, I wouldn't immediately run to 2500. When you're using dual base ISO, I would usually keep it lower, keep your shadows clean, and then add more light, because low light doesn't mean low light. So if you can, I would get in some lights, or learn how to use lighting. Using your second base ISO to kind of use that, it should be kind of a last ditch effort, not necessarily your first order condition. Except your Canadian $10 is devaluing your end. It does, absolutely it does. However, brand deals get paid in American, so I'm doing pretty decent. Legs before flights is diabolical. It absolutely is. My lower back is going to be upset. Giovanni, push-pull legs. Right now I am. Mostly because the places that I'm traveling to that usually throw off my routine are close to gym, so I can run a couple of ways through PPL and go from there. Tap those damn comments so we could see them. Well, I'm tapping it now, Cameron. So now I hope you guys can see them. Bro, you should make a stop motion movie. You are severely overvaluing and overestimating how much attention span I have, which is like -3 on a scale of 1 to 10. Any creator you want to meet at CES, you're going to already see them in the video. I'm not going to tell you who they are. You're already going to see them. That's a secret. You'll see them later. I get used to these regular... Hang on. Can you guys see the comments as I'm broadcasting it? Because I am clicking the broadcast button I just don't know if you can see them or not. Getting used to live streams. I'm going to do a lot more often. Giovanni, regular live stream for, anamorphic live stream for CES tomorrow. There's going to be an anamorphic live stream with, someone who's originated the anamorphic live streams. I just don't know if it's going to be tomorrow. You know what? Ask Cam. Ask Cam when the live stream is. What lens is this on? This is on the 45mm Blazar Remus lens. The film guy, no, don't leave. I'm not actually leaving. This is just like, I made up a title, to be honest with you. But I was just talking about like how I want to change up the videos while still talking about the same thing, but also not being beholden to this idea that like every video has to be this big production. Cause like, it's so expensive, man. Like between paying extra crew for a job that I'm already doing with like the small sponsor money that I already get versus also like maybe just paying and producing my own spec stuff. Like that's super hard and difficult. And oftentimes like whatever you get is whatever you get when you try to plan these things. So it's kind of tough. What is the camera you are looking to test? Zombie House. Based on legal documentation, I can't tell you that. I wish I could. I cannot. Have I tested the Sony A9? I actually did the Sony A9 III at the Shrine Bowl last year. It's one of the fastest cameras, like shooting-wise, you'll ever use in your life. It's almost a little alarming how fast it is, but yeah, great camera. Bro, brakes are necessary. They absolutely are. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to turn off my iMessage because Terry's making fun of me. He's being mean. Where is it? I turned it off. I closed it, and it's doing it anyway. So if you guys hear that, that is what it is. Jay Payne, this is actually a good question. Great question. Would you mind showing people how to get new clients? I've been shooting for 13 years, and it's been a struggle. Realistically, I think like the sales cycle, like there's a couple of videos I have on getting new clients on the channel, but I'm going to make a new one this month. Realistically, yeah, there's a couple things. You can dress for the job that you want. So for example, and that's like spec projects, is the jobs that you want to get, you got to shoot them and you might have to kind of produce your own. But when you do that, especially because you've been shooting for 13 years, take some of the work that you did before and try to find things where if you added a little bit extra, could you make it a little bit better? And also try to get your ear closer to the ground of the industry that you're shooting for. So for me personally, it was fitness for a very long time. So I got an idea of understanding what those type of clients want and then augmenting the content that I make in order to be attractive to those clients. Realistically, video just solves a problem. And it's like, if you could identify the problem and then use what you're doing as a solution, it becomes a lot easier because that way you could just have a collection of solutions and then spread them out to as many people as possible. And then because sending emails shouldn't take long, at least, that should help a bunch. And honestly, if getting client work as an operator doesn't help, if you can't beat them, join them. Like, there's nothing wrong with joining on a crew and being like a first AC or a cam op or something like that, or wherever you could find yourself and picking up extra work that way. Like, you've already acquired the skills. Maybe it's just not your name in your production company that's there, but there's nothing wrong with taking on a job as a different role, especially today where like it's so hard to get work now in video. Anamorphic lens for streamings, nor here nor there. You're new to the party. We've been doing this for a little while. It's going to be a trend. There's going to be a few of us rocking on anamorphic lenses for live streams. Is it overkill? Absolutely. But is it fun? Absolutely. Hang on a second. I'm going to scroll down because there's a lot of comments in here. This gets quite beefy quite easily. The live stream quality is beautiful. Thanks, JD. We still have a thing we have to shoot this year, and I will hit you up when I get back. I love you, my brother. Thank you for everything. You're the best. How can I hire you for private session tutorial from FX30? Pay for the hour. When I get back, so this is going to be a tough one. I had a very short consult call the other day. From 2.5 hours from now, I'm on a plane and in a different country, and I return effectively in March. So I think once that happens, I'll probably open up some sort of like mentoring or consult stuff. I want to make sure that I have a lot of value to give in terms of those one-on-one sessions. So send me an email. If I've missed the email, it might have been because I was gone or went to junk. But send me an email. And if you need that, or if it's not there, hopefully by the time I catch up in the chat, it'll help out. Andrew, yes, I am going to Vegas. I'm going to CES. I don't see comments on the screen. Why can't you see them? Hang on a second, guys. I'm going to try my best. I didn't realize you can't see them. Oh, no, I can't see the chat. Hang on a second. Andre, I'm going to get to all of these chats. Hang on 1 minute. I'm trying to figure out how I get these on the screen. And it's not working. Hang on a second, guys. Huh. Is there a publish button? No, like I'm pressing the add to broadcast button, and it's not going. That's so weird, man. Nope, that's not it either. Oh, wait a minute. Show in background. Can I do this? No. It should be showing overlays. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. I hope you guys can see the chat because I think I could, and apparently it doesn't work. What are you expecting from Lumix at CES? At CES, nothing. I don't think CES is Lumix's bag for cameras. I think you might hear NAB, if I'm going to guess. But I don't think there's going to be anything coming out in at CES. Pro Justin is stepping down. Pro Krypton PM inbound. Man, I'm not super political. I barely keep up with politics. The Justin Trudeau, if you guys don't know, our prime minister resigned today. I don't know what that means for the rest of the country. And I don't think you're going to know for the next, you'll know probably around the election, but in terms of what that actually means, it's probably a couple years from now. So I wouldn't stress too much about it. I could assume that probably nothing's going to change that much, to be honest. Tapping in from work during my lunch break. Evan, respects for coming through on lunch. Sony a7 IV dead in 2025. Joe, absolutely not. The a7 IV is, sorry, I said a7 III. a7 IV is still a great camera. You're still going to be happy with it. I don't think, even the a7 III, man, depending on what you're doing, I don't think it's going to be a gigantic death, I would say. Still does a lot of things really great. I just think the a7 V is due to come out because that's Sony's Alpha line cycle. Hey man, can you give me some advice how to export Instagram Reels? It's better 1080p. Help me please, thank you. So Andreas, and I hope you guys can see this chat because I can't see anything. It won't show me stuff. I use the default export settings on DaVinci Resolve, so I haven't changed any of them. I make sure they're, I think it's MP4s, but outside of that, the way I export video for YouTube is the same for Instagram, just vertical. So I don't have a secret sauce, to be honest with you. It's whatever the default is for exporting 4K is what I use. Hizami Johnson. Hizani Johnson. Love your personality, bro. Met briefly at Cine Gear, and you were a true gentleman. My 2-year-old loves you. Hey, respect. I think you messaged me about, you watch videos with your 2-year-old, which is great. Get him started in cinematography ASAP. As soon as he could, walk and talk, as soon as he can say speeding, just get him started. Hey, what up, Tom? Tom, there's a BTS video for that Keon Coleman shoot that we have going on, and I'm going to put that up this month, so that'll be great. So this is interesting. I just I think, and also really, really oddly timed. So Paul Gero says, Kofi, Sam Sulek is keeping things real and simple, and it could work for you too, in my honest opinion. Sam Sulek followed me on Instagram 45 minutes ago and just texted me saying that he follows the channel. There's that. Kind of weird, but also kind of dope. I didn't think a lot of people in the fitness space watched this sort of stuff. So that happened. Cool. Sam, if you're tuning into the live, we'll talk. Let's talk. I got a couple of collab video ideas that might be really cool. Black on black crime. Yeah, Terry make fun of me all the time, man. At this point, I get used to it. Airport fit check. Oh, wait, hang on. Airport fit check. just because y'all asked. I'm coming in some wares from West Africa, and I'm not going to kind of show you my pants because it means I have to stand all the way back because we're shooting anamorphic. But if you guys ever see the Kidori Man ads on Instagram, I actually bought a couple of pants to see if they be good quality. One kind of them is, one kind ripped the day that I got them. So there's that. Really inspired by you, man. Looking to get my first Blackmagic camera. Would you recommend the Pixis over the Blackmagic 6K full frame? Looking for a minimal dock setup. Micah, I think we met at NAB, I think. If it's the same guy I'm thinking of. I'm partial to saying the Pixis, to be honest with you, because that's how I like to shoot in terms of ergonomics. The sensors are pretty much the same. Many settings might be a little bit different in terms of your IO, and some stuff might be different as well with the monitor and stuff. So I'm partial to the Pixis if you have the extra money to do it. Kenan Fleischer. Industry is in shambles in general. Work is sparse for everyone. From pre-production to post. Truthfully, man, if you're in video production right now or you're in filmmaking and the people that you see are busy, are either incredibly lucky or they've been able to balance producing their own work in the downtime. And that's something I would recommend. If you're somebody who is in filmmaking, cinematography, and maybe you didn't work as much last year to this year, I would start producing your own stuff. At least you have some more control over it. I don't think it's going to be like this forever. So I think even myself, what I might do is I might take a year off of client work, honestly, and just worry about building my portfolio so that when things do kind of open up or get faster, at least I've kind of worked on myself a bit more, which is what I did during the pandemic. And that tripled my income being able to do it that way. Andre Marshall, last live stream, you said a portfolio should be a collection of case studies. Can you explain what a case study consists of? So a case study for me, and what I want to do, and a kind of a weird segue for this one, was instead of just shooting the spec project and going on your website, putting a description of how the project went. So who was the client? What was it for? Where was it going? What were the intentions? Putting the BTS video, which I obviously am going to put on YouTube. Some of the team members are going to be there, photography and stuff like that. So just a little bit more than just posting the video. And that way it kind of gives clients what you actually did and gives them a clear understanding of when they end up buying from you, what you might be into or what they might be into. So click on preview mode. Okay. So yeah, so Cam, I could see it. Is there a publish button? I wonder if this screws things up, I'll come back. Okay, so I could see. Then enter the bottom left top corner. Okay. Hang on a second, guys. Hang on a sec. We're gonna try to figure out how to get these questions broadcasted. Hang on a second. Let me scroll back up to Cam. Okay, click preview mode. So I'm in preview mode. And either bottom left or top center. Yeah, so I'm in preview mode. Make the chat layer on OBS. I don't know what that means. I'm terrible at this. Where did this pretty boy Cam come from? Big Kofi Pretty Boy Cam. I don't know. Cam, I don't know. I guess you got a new name for yourself after a little bit. Maybe it's because all of your footage is really pretty, so now it's just a thing that happens. Hey, smash the like. Oh God, Rob, I won't be smashing anybody's aunties. I promise to God, I won't be smashing anybody's aunties. From Cabo Verde, Africa. Really like your videos, Kofi. Hey, Prism videos. Thank you, man. It's the eyes and the beard, man. I mean, yeah, that's fair. Came from shoveling snow. Glad I caught you. Love what you're doing here. John, thank you. I love what you're doing here, which is tuning into this live stream. Big Kof, what do you use to stream anamorphic? What software do you use, and do you de-squeeze? All I need is pretty quick hand stream and anamorphic. No, so we're both using the Pixis on Blazar lenses, and there is no software per se. Like we're using Ecamm as a streaming software, but if you do the SDI to the 3G converter to Thunderbolt into your computer, and you basically get whatever the camera's portraying. And because you can de-squeeze in camera, it's giving you that. I need to edit those. I'm going to try my best to see if I can see this, because I could see... Yeah, man, it's not... There's no way I can see these comments. I've been trying to get this to come on. If anybody knows how to do this, send me... Like, if Cam, if you know how to get my comments to go back on, send me a text, because I truthfully don't know how to do this, and it's going to drive me insane. Actually, Cam might have actually sent me a text. Yeah, it doesn't show. Like it's I could see the preview version. If you guys can see the comments, let me know. Click publish. Okay, cool. I clicked publish. Publish. It's not doing anything, Cam. Yeah, I think my Ecamm's just screwed up. I don't know. It's in like... Yeah, I know how to do it on OBS, but not Ecamm. Like, I could broadcast things. I could favorite them. But nothing is playing on here at all. I wonder if I can go... No. Overlays. There we go. Hang on a second. Make sure it's not in the background. There's literally nothing else in my background. Hang on a second. Let me just close that down. Like, can I put this? Nope. Doesn't do anything. Guys, I'm going to take 2 minutes to try to figure this out. No, if I do default scene, that'll do absolutely nothing. Yeah, it's not publishing my comments anywhere on here. And it gives me the option to see a bunch of sources on here, and not one of them is comments. Add last comment overlay. Be awesome if it did that. And yeah, it's not doing it. Yeah, it's not doing it at all. So I don't know how I'm going to fix that. And I guess we're just going to hope that everybody can see stuff in the chat. Let me go back up to the chat. Yeah, I had to click publish, and it gave me a warning, and then it popped up. Click and publish. Nothing's happening. Yeah, it doesn't work. It's cooked. So that's where we're at now. So if you guys want to see any of the comments, you're going to have to look into the chat itself, because it's not working today, and we don't really know why. Let me go back into... I'm also reading Cam's his texts, thinking that they're in chat. So if you see me sounding like I'm talking to myself, that's that. What up, River? Hey, the Fit Clean. Edward Gilbert. I'm going to try my best to see the next time I go to Ghana, if maybe the next merch drop is a little bit more West African inspired. I wish. So hopefully that ends up working out. Love your tutorial. Thoughts on the Blackmagic may drop the Pixis version 2, and what do you think it'll have? I think they only just started shipping the Pixis now. So I wouldn't hold your breath on seeing a version 2 anytime soon, man. And I think they're going to try to flesh out that system and see how it goes. Evan, you ever show your photo video projects to Reddit? I shared my best photos of the year, and it got some good traction. Evan, I'll tell you, my experience with Reddit is not a positive one in any stretch of anything. I generally kind of stay away from Reddit, because that's where I go to be miserable, and it makes me sad. So Reddit's not my favorite platform in the world. Rob, I don't know how it is in the 51st state of Canada joke, but for us here in New York, this is gearing up to be a busy pilot season. Oh, okay, that's actually dope. That there's a lot of pilots being shot there. Canada, I haven't heard a lot. Like some of my, like I'm not CSC union. Some of my union friends have like not been working a ton, so I don't know in the union world, at least. But from a lot of my friends, they're not working as much as I guess they wanted to or used to. Brian, for someone who just now starting a camera related YouTube channel, what would you recommend posting for your first video? Not topic of the video, but other things. Um, I would say use like the stuff that you have currently on you. Give almost like a guide if you were when you first bought it and all of the things that you were wondering about that you solve now in like having the things you already have, whether it's skill set or pieces of gear, and teach that back. Like effectively, most people like in this platform, it's so easy to do well. If the education you're giving is to somebody that you were 2-3 years ago, it's far easier doing it that way than anything else. So if you're starting out, honestly, just use the stuff you already have because in that way, it's way easier to script it, and you don't have to do a lot of research because it's already happened to you. Call me Lonnie. Are you leaving or taking? Sorry, are you leaving or taking time off? Your videos have been helpful with learning my FX3 and FX30 and how to shoot vids in my home office lighting. Thanks for all your info. No, Lonnie, the Leaving the Filmmaking Niche was just a title that I made up. We were talking about just changing how videos are, not necessarily leaving, which technically would be like leaving the filmmaking niche if you do things differently, I guess, to some people. So there was that. But I'm not really going anywhere. If anything, I'm just ramping up, which is going to be fun. Film Guy. I'm so sorry. I wish I could broadcast these comments. I don't know why it's not working, man. The YouTube space is changing. I've tried to push for bigger production videos, but you're either paying from your own pocket and not seeing any return, or you're getting a brand to pay for it and not paying yourself. Yeah, that's literally where I'm at right now. We're like the money that I'll use for certain things, especially when I'm working with brands that have like reoccurring sponsors. Either I have to hope that like if I'm working with a client, they'll let me make YouTube videos out of it, and that's hit or miss, or I make no money, which is tough because then that's a business model that can't sustain itself. And realistically, brands want your audience. They don't want your production. You could have a lot of really high production, but if you don't have the audience, like a giant audience, that you unlock more budget the more audience you have. So it's kind of a catch-22, but it is very frustrating. I know how to do it on OBS, but yeah, I don't know. Ecamm is kind of weird. Groovy Food Studios, the free trial ended. Man, I just paid for it. Like that's the weird part is I paid for Ecamm today to get the watermark off, but the comments won't show up and it won't give me any way of doing it any other way, which is super strange. Like I could click on here and it doesn't show anything. Were you a videographer first? And if so, how did you transition from that to cinematography working with bigger productions? Yeah, I mean, like, I think I went through the whole, like, kind of solo person running around with my camera for a little bit. The pandemic really propelled things because you had to practice because you had nowhere else to go. Blackmagic Pixis or Komodo 6K Zombie House, it depends. It depends on what you're shooting. I love global shutter, but at the same time, I know it's not the end of the world not having it. And if I want to save money, well, then there's that. SJ, Clickbait, hopefully. Yeah, no, I'm not leaving anywhere. I think I'm just changing up how I do my content. I'm not leaving the filmmaking niche. I'm sorry. I feel bad. If you guys are actually stressed out about that, I'm not really going very far. It's just I'm changing up how I want to do some stuff. Hi from San Marino, France. Hello from Toronto, Canada. It's cold as hell here. Noko, what's up? Scale Builders Guild picked up an FX30 over the holiday. Thank you for your videos. Have been super helpful. Cheers from a fellow Torontonian. Hey, I feel like YouTube has a factory in Toronto, and if you guys aren't from Canada, we actually have it. It's in somewhere in Ontario by the Parliament Building, and there's actually a factory where they make us, and we just get shot out of like as fully grown adults. We just get shot out of the factory and at like different ages, and then we learn how to do YouTube, and we start right away. Brian, is a Sony a7 IV still good? I'm going to tell you guys this. Unless your camera is broken, the year by which the camera that you have doesn't get worse because the time has changed. Cameras will have better things to it, but that doesn't objectively mean your camera's worse. If it's been doing well 3 weeks ago, then it's going to do exactly just fine today. Is Bret Hart still a big deal in Canada? Alexander, I don't know who that is, so I guess not. But also, I'm not the arbiter of who's a big deal. The type of content that I make won't do well on YouTube, which is fine. That's why I post on AOD. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I think that there's, like, for me personally, the stuff that I like doing, the cross sections with people that watch it, and oftentimes when like cross section what I want to make versus what people want to see, like that really does well. But teach their own, man. With the cool part about having content is that you own it and you can do whatever you want with it. The Reddit filmmaking community is super toxic. The YouTube filmmaking community can be super toxic. The filmmaking community in general, no matter what platform it is, can be super toxic. But like Reddit kind of being a toxic platform inherently in a lot of ways, I could see that. So that's why I kind of stay away from Reddit, to be honest with you. I'm glad photography Reddit has been relatively kind. Evan, I wish I had that luck. I have not had a good experience on there. Lonnie, yeah, glad to hear you're sticking around and ramping up. Absolutely. I think there's a couple of, there's 8 projects, I think, for the year. Some are small, some are a little bit bigger, and I'm just going to stick to those. And then the rest of it is going to be, honestly, I want to try vlogging a little bit. I have a lot of fun doing it. There's one product launch video that's more of a vlog than it is I shot this commercial and here's everything I did. I think it's a lot of fun. I think I have the personality for a vlogger. Y'all tell me if I have the personality for vlogging. How long can you meditate? Random thoughts. I don't meditate. I'll stare off into space for like 45 minutes. I don't know if that's meditation though, but yeah, I don't know how long I could do that for. Yeah, I enjoy my A7 IV. Still a good option. It's an absolutely great option, man. Thoughts on the Sony 135G Master? I've heard it's stellar lens, but the focal length feels a bit redundant when you have a 7200 in my kit. I might actually ask my boy Rich. He's been helping shoot for the channel for a long time, and he has a 135GM. For what it's worth, he loves it. So take that with a grain of salt. Gabriel, it actually might have been your audio. I think it's been pretty good so far, so... any tips for interning in Toronto? SJ, I don't know. I think the hard part is that because things are a little bit slower for a lot of people, I think interning might be kind of tough. At least to my knowledge. Like, I don't necessarily know anyone that's looking for an intern. For me, I travel far too often to have one. It'd be really hard to maintain an intern while doing that. So, for the most part, I'm going to say for now, I don't know, but I live quite a bit. So we'll see how it goes. Hey, my boy Thomas J. McClure is in the building. For real, why are so many YouTubers Canadian? I grew up in the wrong place. Yo, I don't know. You know what? I think there's a couple of things. One, we spend like 6 to 7 months out of the year inside our house, which is perfect for YouTube. But I think also because the country, like everybody in Canada lives in like 3 states, or 3 provinces, I should say. And the amount of opportunity that's there supersedes how many talented people live in those areas. So we end up just taking control of our own destiny and doing YouTube instead. So I think that's kind of how it happened. Correction, YouTube has a sweatshop in Toronto. I hope not. That sounds terrible. I mean, based on this exchange rate, I don't know if it's a sweatshop. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna pay good. I'm eating good right now, as you can see. We just had a blizzard in Kansas. We understand. Does it? Okay, where in the United States of America does it not snow? Because I found out today that it snows in Texas. I didn't know it snows in Texas. Bret Hart is a huge deal. River, I don't know who Bret Hart is. You're going to have to help me out. I'm trying to I don't know if I'll ever catch up to the last comment. We'll see. Headshot Squad Gaming. I don't believe in clickbait. If a clickbait was a serious thing, then why does YouTube suggest making eye-catching thumbnails? In my opinion, that should be considered clickbait. Yeah. Fair point. YouTube kind of the idea for me with clickbait is that if I put something in a title and then I don't and I never explain it, or I do the opposite, then I think that would be clickbait. So for example, if I was to say like, I have the Sony A7 IV, and then you open the video up and I'm talking about the A6100, that would be clickbait. But if I have the A7 V and you open the video and I say I've had it for 48 hours and this is what I think about it, that's not necessarily clickbait. Similarly, I mean, take it for what it's worth. Me talking about leaving the filmmaking niche and like vlogging a bit more might be to some people leaving the filmmaking niche, because the way the content is going to show up is going to be different. So I don't know if someone's very upset about that, then I'm sorry, I guess. Who are some of your favorite DOPs? I think like the round robin of like Fincher and Villeneuve. No, Villeneuve's the director. I can't remember the lady's name who did Black Panther, and I'm a big, well, when he was DPing and not directing and being the EP of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, love a Morgan Cooper piece. Really great guy. I'm really bad at answering like who my favorite whatever it is on the spot, because if my brain's not there, it's really hard for me to think about. I'm gutted. The Hitman is the Canadian hero. P.S. Stop stealing my microphone gimmick. Alexander has been mad at me about getting this microphone for weeks. It's not going anywhere. You're gonna have to you have to share some space, okay, Alexander? I didn't know. Up until this point, no idea who Bret Hart was until someone told me. Oh, I got one too. Yeah, so yeah, the A7 IV is a great camera, man. Oh, Luca, I'd never even thought about that. Too bad that during the live stream there are no subtitles. I'm Italian and I can't follow very well, unfortunately. If I figure out how to put subtitles, which I think might be tough because I think the subtitles happen after, Luca, you might be able to catch on the replay. I don't know how to fix that, to be honest with you. If anybody does know how to do that on Ecamm, send me a message or an email. Oh, Bret Hart is a former WWE wrestler. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. This is all news to me. Networking to join work and work from others and personal experience. Maybe when you were starting up or when starting YouTube. I think like the networking thing was weird because I didn't know, like I knew Mark because I'd worked doing Mark's thumbnails. I'd come and do BTS every now and again. We didn't talk about like my own YouTube very much when I was starting out until that one video where like he roasted the channel and stuff. And I proceeded to listen to almost nothing that he said and kind of, do the Miles Morales, do my own thing. In terms of network, though, the network that kind of happened for me on YouTube was very much from the virtue of being very, what is it, tenacious? What if you have tenacity? Are you tenacious? I don't remember the word is, but I was that with making content. I did it very often to the point where other creators started to see things, and you would get like the one message being like, "Hey, man, like, how are you posting 3 videos in a row? And this stuff looks great." So like, I think the network that I had was built over just kind of working on my own stuff. And letting people get pulled to me instead of pushing myself out. I know that's kind of a vague thing to explain, but I think for networking, especially now, especially when there's people that you look up to that you want to work with, it's really difficult to push to them. You have to kind of find common ground because a lot of people might get a little bit spooked when your network, like when I could see that you're networking and not in like the genuine way where like I want something from you, you could spook a lot of creators, and a lot of times are very sensitive to that, where if I feel like this conversation isn't genuine, I will socially run away. But things I normally find when I'm talking to somebody is that they're already kind of like working on themselves. They might not be incredibly proficient, but they're really working hard at it. That's an easier conversation starter than trying to just insert yourself. Hope that helped out a bit. I hope that sounded as good as it did in my head. But who knows? Brian Bapa, Kofi, is there a group chat that you have where we can all talk and share ideas, potentially link up? I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I got to go to Atlanta soon. I went to there 3 years ago. It was dope. I think a couple of us are thinking of doing, and I think channel memberships might be a thing coming up in a little bit. But I'm thinking of doing like a Discord. I think I'm going to kind of fire the Discord up. I deleted it the other day because it kind of just died. But I think with having things like these live streams, and then when I go to Vegas, I'm talking to my editor about maybe having a like a community, like a kind of a off YouTube community. But making a Discord open might be something in the future. If you guys are into that, let me know. Terry just texted me saying he needs to show me how to get the comments on screen. Terry, if you're watching this, understand that we've been trying, and it's not working. What's your opinion on text on thumbnails matching videos and not matching the title of the YouTube video? It's all about context, man. Like if it's tasteful, cool. If you like, your thumbnail and your title is the promise you make in a video, and if you don't deliver on that promise, then it's not a good title and thumbnail, and that's where you normally will see the drop off or a video not do well. So if I tell you, I'm going to tell you the 10 things you need to know about the Blackmagic Pixis, and you open up the video and I tell you 3 things, and then I talk about the FX6, not going to be a good video. But if I tell you those things, as long as if I'm watching it, the promise that I'm making in that title and thumbnail happen, I think it's fine. I love the way YC does his vlogs. It's a nice change of pace from people that just hold the camera and are walking. Yeah, I think that's me and YC actually. He's the one who kind of slapped sense into me making YouTube in the first place. We had this. He had a course called Free of Freelancing, and it had its own like community in it. And I think before he closed it, he called me for like 2.5 hours. And I was like, oh, I don't want to be on YouTube, because literally one of the things I was like, oh, I want to be a real filmmaker. Like, I don't want to be on YouTube. And my man effectively just slapped sense into me and told me kind of the possibilities that are available when you open yourself up to the space. And that's how this YouTube channel started. So YouTube vlogs for the dub. Hey, it might be in the future. There is so many. Terry, I'm going to show you how to set up everything after this stream. Yeah, Terry, let me know. 3 people have disliked the stream. I'm sorry. What do you use for live streaming? Right now I'm on Ecamm. That's the software program, using the Pixis with the Blazar Remus 45mm. Does the title matter to you, like being called either a filmmaker? No, Jai, doesn't matter at all. If we're in a world right now where if I would like to, I could identify as a cat. The separation between being a videographer or filmmaker, like, it doesn't matter because the skill overlap is so similar. And also, like, right about now, is like, if the identification with a certain title helps you become better at holding that title, like if me calling myself a filmmaker helps me, even in small part, be a better filmmaker, people on the internet trying to tell me otherwise, I don't care. Because if it's a position that you don't want me to hold, take it. And most people can't. Kind of look like Hobie from the Miles Morales Across the Spider-Verse. Hey, I'll take it. Hey, I'll take that, bro. I don't have as nice a hair. I wish I had more hair. I used to, but yeah. Please, it snows 1/4 inch in Texas, and they cancel everything from news broadcasts to the hospital appointments. Rarely snows in Texas. Oh, I didn't know that. I had no idea that it snows in Texas. Oh, also, Terry's in the chat. What up, Terry? Terry, if you're going live before you go on your flight, let me know. It does not snow in Georgia, but we expecting more snow on Friday. Georgia snows? Oh, this is stupid. This is wild. I ain't moving nowhere. You're already a vlogger. Hey, SJ, I'll take it. I'll take that, man. Sometimes I wish filmmakers could meet up and exchange fists like Jake Paul and Tyson. There's absolutely no reason for Reddit, Facebook groups, and YouTube community to be toxic. I've stayed away. Honestly, there are times, and I'm only human, that I wish sometimes, if you have something to say. I also have been training boxing for a while, so this is kind of unfair. Yeah, if someone would have a problem, fisticuffs might be an answer, but also, like, someone making a YouTube video about you maybe shouldn't warrant getting your jaw broken, so maybe it's not a good idea. But there's arguments for and against it. Hey, we would absolutely need a Dirty December vlog from Accra. Rob, you're not supposed to know about Dirty December, okay? My friends, Adamfo, you're not supposed to know. For those of you guys that don't know what Dirty December is, in Ghana, the entire city completely transforms into a music festival as a country for the month of December. So if you're there December the 8th, pretty much until would be like this time, restaurants open, 5-star hotels open. There's like full music festivals going on. Celebrities are there all over the place. Like, it's a wild 30 days. And I'm going back in 11.5 months. and it's going to be dope. And to your point, I probably should make a Detsy December vlog. Zombie House. I tested a few smartphones for BTS, except for Samsung Galaxy Ultra phone and iPhone. The other phones suck at videos, but the new Vivo X200 Pro is great. Any reviews on that? Zombie House, I want to do more mobile reviews. I think my big thing is ND filters. Like, I have this 16 Pro Max, and I was going to do a lot more videos on it, and I got the moment, like the whole kit, and my ND filter broke, and I haven't got a new one yet, and I think they're sold out right now. So I just like stopped doing them because I didn't want to do videos without ND filters and shoot outside. So maybe. Jack Shea Martin, what lenses do you recommend for the FX30? I have a Sigma 18 to 50 right now and looking into other lenses. I think this, like, the Sigma is really dope. I think Sony has their 15 millimeter, like their 15, 10 are good, great wide angle lenses. And then honestly, when I had the FX30, like after I got a wide lens, I just used other full frame lenses because the math was kind of the same still. And I already had it for other full frame cameras, so I didn't see a point in buying new APS-C lenses. So, John Johnson, these live streams are such a vibe. Really digging it. Also, another Canadian YouTuber over here. I just need to post more often. Hey, Josh, world's your oyster. There's no limit on how many videos you can post, but also, this is proof. YouTubers, they're made in Canada. That's a factory. And if you're an American YouTuber, just know that you were probably born in Canada or manufactured there and then just shipped off to the States. Yeah, Texas snow is pretty rare. Yeah, so hang on a second. Let me see if I can catch up to... Big Kofi, you're too big to identify as a cat. From henceforth, your pronouns are open gate and anamorphic, which is the best way to describe somebody. Yeah, I'm an open gate. Don't call me a big person. I'm an open gate. Yes to Discord. Okay, perfect. I'll consider that. Identify as a cat. Kofi, you need to do nighttime streams so more of us could attend after work. Work gets in the way. Greg, when I come back from Vegas, because I'm leaving, I'm gonna leave in like an hour and a half. Yeah, I definitely will. I was gonna do it yesterday, but my nephew's birthday was yesterday, and family is more important than making videos on the internet. I want to see Kofi in the ring. No, you don't. Like, first of all, find somebody in my weight class on YouTube, which doesn't exist. Yeah, it doesn't exist. I had to think about that. But yeah, no. That would be kind of cool, though. If you got like a year to train, that would actually be dope. I need an update on Kofi cups. Hey, Edmund, lower your voice. That was an exclusive leak. There will be more. That's kind of part of the reason why I'm going to Vegas, is to do more product testing. So far, for those of you guys that don't know, there's a product, but I'll say what we were testing. I was able to use 2 cups strapped to my Nanlite Forza to the wall, and it stayed on for 5.5 hours. So, so far they're pretty strong. Kofi's to cuffs, Kofi's new fight channel. That would be hilarious if you started having cards on the channel before videos. Yeah, talks not get cracked. Hands are rated E for everyone. As much as I would love that, again, I find a lot of people in the kind of YouTube space didn't even play contact sports, so like getting into a fight would be devastating. It's I don't know. I mean, at some level, I'm like, yeah, I would be all for it because I think some people might need that to change their life, but at the same time, I can't condone violent acts against people unless both parties agree to it. And at that point, get your popcorn and let's get a pay-per-view going. Can you change the color of your lights? Not necessarily. So my Forza 300 right now is, I only have the daylight balanced one because my other lights got stolen when my car got broken into. The lamp that's that way, that is only one temperature. It's a 3300. This light in the back, I think I can change it, but it doesn't go higher than like 6500. So it doesn't you can't really get like the blue tone out of it, which I wish. When I get back home, I'm probably going to set this up and maybe put like a teal or another accent in the back to give more contrast. What was that content phone you said you were using in the last stream? Can't remember what brand it was, but she mentioned some cool Wi-Fi features. Content phone. Evan, hit me back. I'm gonna try to come back to that because I don't. The live stream's 2 hours. I might have forgot, but the phone I'm using is an iPhone. Yeah, we heard how you broke your ND filter. You don't want to raw dog it and put your pocket while having that bump. Yeah, I didn't know that. Kofi open gate Yibo was hilarious. Aren't you gonna be late for the flight? No, my flight's at 8:00. I usually get to the airport at like 6, and I only live like 25 minutes away from the airport, so I'm super close. Justin Porter is your size? Absolutely not. I have 50 pounds on Justin, I think. I got like 50 pounds on Justin, and I'm a little bit taller, so that wouldn't be fair. I can see flag football by Kofi. Yeah, I want to play 7-on-7 so badly. And there was a group chat that was made for some of the guys that were local, and they want to play soccer of all things. And I'm like, bro, let's run a 7-on-7. I think it'd be dope. And they said no, because that makes me mad. Oh, River, I think he means the Atomos Ninja phone. Yeah, man. So the Ninja phone is in my backpack. It's already packed. I'm not going to take it out. But what it does is that the little apparatus thing, basically you need a power source and an encoding source in order to make your phone footage have ProRes, but also you need something if you're going to be externally recording to actually draw battery from, or it'll destroy your phone. And you just need like some sort of intermediary between your cell phone and using it as a camera monitor or an external live streamer or an external monitor or recorder. That one's pretty dope. I put the video up on the channel, and one of the things I might try, depending if we go, I don't know if we'll have time or if I'll have service. I don't want to try it in another country because I don't know if the data is going to get weird in terms of the data rate. But you're going to be able to use your phone as a live streaming device because the Atomos Ninja phone helps encode it while using your phone as the monitor, like kind of like this setup where this is connected to my laptop. I'll be able to do that using the Ninja phone, which means that if I do travel somewhere, if I'm somewhere where there's better Wi-Fi, I can use that to live stream with. We did it in BC when we were doing Brandon Washington's Christmas show. There wasn't anything wrong with the Ninja phone. It's just that the Wi-Fi was really slow. So I'm going to try it in a couple other places to see how it works. But it's effectively turning your phone into the Ninja 5 without ProRes RAW, but then also gives you all the live streaming capabilities, which you could also use on Instagram. So there's that. Oh, yeah. Okay. Everyone said that it's what's it called? That's the Ninja phone. Yeah. So that was what I was talking about. Hair oil update. I might actually I actually kind of want to make like a beard oil, like merch. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but that'd be cool. Have you ever had trouble traveling with your film gear? No. Usually if you're going to go and you're working for another company, you need something called a carnet, at the bare minimum. But generally speaking, when I'm working with my clients, I'll bring a carnet, and I'm usually working with Canadian clients anyways. And then when I'm traveling for stuff, like if I'm going to NAB or something like that, like I bring a really small kit. Like this is what this is the bag I'm traveling, all my stuff. Where'd it go? Okay, well, it's gone, but I put everything in a duffel bag with a camera cube in it, and that's all I'm traveling with when I go to CES or NAB or some of the other trips where I don't need a lot of stuff, especially when I'm with other creators where they have their cameras too. I'm trying to pack less and not have like bags and bags of stuff. Oh, it's a mod. Yeah, I heard you call it yeah, so Evan, the name of it is the Atomos Ninja phone. I see you figured out the chat. Larry, can you see it? If you can see it, or if that was sarcasm, I don't really know, because I can't see it. I tried. It won't show up. What are you looking forward to at CES? I think just going to CES. I didn't go last year, so I didn't actually know what happened. I didn't even watch like the news stuff afterwards, so I'm going in blind. I actually have no idea what CES is like. I think it's like NAB, but not NAB, so we'll see. Have you ever deleted the main file of a final project that you spent weeks on? Absolutely not. I am so paranoid. I've had cards fail and had a backup, and that card failed, but I'm way too paranoid to allow that to happen. And also, like, now that I'm working with an editor for some of my clients, actually all my client stuff and a ton of my YouTube stuff in terms of like cutting A-roll and stuff, there's always like 4 different sources where all my footage is, so that's nice. Oh, it happened to you yesterday. That sucks. I'm sorry. No, I'll check your video on it. Yeah, man, just give it a shot. If you like it, have more questions, just leave it in the comment section. Yeah, I got the Atmos Ninja phone during the holidays. Yeah, the Atmos Ninja phone being half the price, man. That was a game changer. I think, like, for me personally, because YouTube is obviously like it's a source of income and a business. When it was $400, I didn't care. Like it was whatever. It's getting written off. But I think for some people they wanted to be cheaper, and then they made it cheaper, and it worked out well. Looking towards meeting MKBHD. I'd love to actually meet MKBHD. I think he's one of the few melanated people on the platform that are doing really well, and that's awesome to see. But also, he's a crazy athlete. Like I can move around for as big as I am. That is a incredibly athletic person for someone who does tech reviews, which normally you wouldn't see the two things happening. Kofi, what type of content you want to see from me? Wait, Kofi, what type of content you want to see from me? I figured I will change the questioning a bit. Marcus, I want to see more stuff about that documentary you've been working on for a few years. So if you guys don't follow Marcus Robinson, he's working on a really big documentary. I only get to see bits and pieces of it. I want to see the rest of that. I want to see some of the stuff that you've learned. I know that you have quite a few Fuji cameras that you use for video as well as photo. I know there's like, I was there for a lot of the stuff in terms of working with like Red and stuff. I was there when that happened. I think other people want to know how that all works out as well, especially as somebody who, I don't know if you identify as kind of like being part of the YouTube space, but you're also a very skilled filmmaker that got to work with some of these brands. I'd love to hear that kind of stuff. Are you using the chat window in Ecamm or YouTube? Venroy, I'm using it on Ecamm, and maybe should I use it on YouTube? I don't. Yeah, Venroy, if you're onto something, bro, I am listening. Also, way more people left the stream. This is not a great stream today, but it is what it is. Really hoping to get to NAB this year. I am for sure going to NAB. There's a decision of whether or not I'm going to drive there from Toronto and make a road trip video series out of it, or I'm going to fly there and rent a car there. I'm just trying to weigh out which one is the more financially advantageous thing. The scene looks crispy. Hey, we're anamorphic shill live streaming for the rest of 2025. I'm just a chill guy. Hey, thank you, Gerardo. Hopefully, it's definitely nothing like NAB, but I like NAB. Enjoy. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. Let MKBHD speed in your Bronco, the vlog speeding. Absolutely not. If he's gonna do that, he's gonna do that on somebody else's insurance. I'm not doing that. Also, like, can we let this man live in terms of the whole speeding thing? Like, some of us been speeding and we just didn't put it on the internet, and we're acting like we've been following the speed limit the whole time in our whole lives. I mean, just, he's already said sorry multiple times. Like, let a man live at this point. At this point, I'm over it. Like, it's still a stupid thing to do. I'm over it. I got a question. Do you have any advice for starting aspiring YouTuber who wants to lean more into the commercial spaces? Gerardo, right now, because a lot of the industry is a little on fire. People aren't working as much as they'd like to. At least some people aren't. Produce your own stuff. It might be a little bit harder. You might have to space things out. Like, you might not be able to do a commercial every week. But I think there's a lot to be said about owning your own things and being able to do what you'd like with your own things. And long-term return on investment oftentimes works a little bit better for you. So I produce your own stuff. Will we see the Kofi Ecamm real-time vlog at CES? I wish. There's a few reasons why I'm going to Vegas, including CES, so I don't know how long I'll spend at the expo itself. But if I have the chance to, I might. Headshot Squad, would you say going from the Sony a7 III to a DJI Osmo Pocket 3 to be an upgrade? Not really. They're very different from each other. And like, I mean, if you have an a7 III and you're using it for photo and you're using it for video, the Osmo Pocket 3 serves a kind of a different function in that regard. I mean, like, the Osmo Pocket 3's sensor for photos a lot smaller. Although I do have photos from the Osmo Pocket 3. I haven't posted them yet. But I don't know if that would be an upgrade per se, but it also depends on context. Like, what are you looking to do while getting an Osmo Pocket 3? Gabriel Boho, do you think an FX6 Mark II would come out soon? I think maybe. Like, I would say in terms of like timing, in terms of when there's an upgrade path, If I'm guessing, like at the earliest, the end of this year. That's the earliest. The FX6 still sells crazy, and I think with your Sony, if something's not broken, they won't fix it. The FX6 is still a very popular camera amongst ENG shooters. They just signed the tech partnership with the NFL, so anything from the NFL in terms of like any NFL owned media, that's all on Sony cameras. So I don't necessarily know if the FX6 Mark II is going to come out, and if it does, it's probably going to be based on the feedback from their largest corporate partnership, which is the NFL. Which also means that if the NFL does not need OpenGate, you might not see OpenGate or other features, right? So you just keep that in mind. Karis, hope the title is clickbait. It absolutely is. Well, yeah, it is in a way. I appreciate your color grading as a melanated woman. It is definitely appreciated, brother. Hey, we have a unique skin tone. And color grading for it is tough. And also a lot of the color grading is like set in costume design. So like I'll wear shirts that help my face not look like I'm a floating head sometimes. I like using warmer lights because it'll bring out some of the colors in your skin. Because if I use neutral lights, my skin would almost go purple. Which no one wants. No one wants to be purple. It's not great. So yeah, thank you for that. There's also, I think I'm gonna do an updated video on lighting and shooting for darker skin tones. I made one a couple years ago. I'm gonna make an update to that, especially using other cameras. Jay, who are some of your favorite content creators to watch at the moment? I don't watch a lot of filmmaking videos, and I think part of that, like I'll watch a lot of new people, so I'll watch like Simeon a bunch. I mentioned Thomas McClure here a little bit earlier. I'll watch like I guess I call him Volandis reruns because he had made those videos a little while ago, and also like prayers for him too in terms of his in kind of dealing with his health stuff. Obviously, I'll watch like Cam and Terry and stuff, and like to be honest with you, I didn't have YouTube until watching them for a couple of years, so it's really weird when like we have a group chat where we talk shit to each other all the time. Can I swear? I don't know. So I've been watching them for a really, really long time. I've watched everyone that like I'm friends with now have been my favorite channels that I watch on a regular basis. But also it's nice when you get like Thomas is a channel where I just kind of stumbled upon. And I'm like, first of all, Talking Headshot looks fire. Secondly, he's just like a chill guy, and I like watching that kind of stuff because that's what kind of person I am. River, they dug up some body cam footage. This dude has 9 speeding tickets, over 100 in 2024. He likes fast car. Like again, for me personally, I still think it's a stupid thing to speed, especially when you're MKBHD. I think it's really dumb, because exactly this. I know people with more than 9 speeding tickets going over 100, but obviously they're not MKBHD, right? So like again, that's kind of one of those things where I still think it's really dumb. I'm just and I hope he learns his lesson, but like I'm over MKBHD shouldn't speed. I'm like, nobody should. And like him speeding I don't think it's going to stop people from speeding. Honestly, if he turns a whole leaf and he goes 10 years without a speeding ticket, people are still going to speed on the highway. Yeah, I honestly follow speed no matter what. I try my best to do it. I'd be lying if I said there's time. Like I think I've been caught speeding once, and there's times where like I'll be driving and I'm not blasting the speed limit by like 30 kilometers, but I'm definitely like, oh, I'm going too fast. Slow the hell down. So like I've done that before. So like I don't know. It's hard for me knowing that I'm not a perfect driver. It's hard for me to condemn somebody else for not doing one, but I could still say it's dumb to do. So. No way to follow speed limit is a video game. Hey, Headshots, you are a better man than I am. So, here nor there, would you ever offer consultations other than YouTube channels? So, would you ever offer consultations on other YouTube channels when you return to the country? I'm trying to improve my production for my channel. Here nor there, absolutely. I think that's going to be part of this kind of like off-platform community that we're doing. So for those of you guys that don't know, my editor, Zach, is way more than just the editor for this channel. He's also a way more savvy sales shark than myself, and I'm pretty good at it. And me and him were talking about kind of making an offline community where the spec project production stuff that needs financial sustainability has to live on there. And then some of the other stuff where it's more kind of dumping information and hoping that, like, I have to kind of split the two things up. The things that I need to be more of a sustainability part of things. And also I can do things like giving out raw footage and consultations and members only live streams and stuff. We're going to go and talk about that in Vegas. So short answer, absolutely yes. Long answer, yes, plus a ton more stuff. One of the things that we've been having conversations about is sponsors. And sometimes how difficult it is to work with sponsors and the seasonality of it and the response time of it and like working with all of those things. And that can get a little bit annoying and daunting. And a lot of us don't want to be beholden to working on those sponsors as it is like, it's a big chunk. It's really important. Where at the same time, the expectations from some people in the community gets higher and higher, and also expectations for ourselves get higher and higher. And we want to try to find a way to do that. And one of the ways we've been thinking about is trying to give value back in a paid community, and also having a free community as well. So people get the choice. So if you want to see, maybe there's BTS of a commercial shoot that we worked on where I had to take on less money in order to allow the BTS to get shot in the first place. That would be from, not Patreon. I think I was looking at Uscreen. I think Brandon Washington uses it. And having like a separate community for that, and then having things like consultations and merch and digital products. Being in YouTube for like two and a bit years, the big thing's been like AdSense affiliate sponsors. I haven't thought of the other stuff. I've done digital products, but I don't promote them very well. But yeah, that's going to happen later. Any guesses on the A7 IV features we can expect? Trying to decide whether it's time to save up and go to flagship next. Evan, I don't know, man. Honestly, I think with the A7 IV, they did such a good job outside of give us a little bit better readout. That'd be awesome. Just because it's a smaller camera, if you can, like, that'd be great if you could. We don't necessarily need more megapixels. At least I'm speaking for myself. And 4K 60, that's not cropped. I think if you could do those things, and I mean, I would love to see like an open gate version. I would love to see that because the Lumix S5 2X has that, which makes you competitively more viable. I would love to have some of the things that were on the S5 2X because Sony manufactures a sensor, but then fix like 2 or 3 features on the A7 IV. Like, I'd like it to not overheat and still be able to use webcam utility and stuff like that. If they can do some things that just improve marginally on it, I think it'll be fine. Can I expect them? I don't know. With Sony's design language, they're very much like, they know, like, you almost know what the next Sony camera is going to be like oftentimes. I can't expect the world, but I can expect it to be better. I want to be purple. Hey, Zombie, to each their own, bro. What's going on with all these lives? I love that. We're bored. It's winter. It's slow. And we want to have a format of content where we don't necessarily have to worry about the production of things. And now we're here. Have you thought about using the XH2S with their new F-Log C? Love it. I've not used a Fuji camera for video. I have a Fuji GFX 50R, which I have a video coming up this month, and I decided I'm going to fly to Vegas to do it. But no, I haven't. I haven't used it for video, and I probably should. Maybe now that maybe. Ben, any tips for starting a YouTube channel with weekly videos if you don't like editing but also can't afford an editor? I know how to shoot and edit. I just get burnt out by editing too much. Truthfully, I didn't have an editor till like the first 300 videos, so like I kind of edited my own stuff. You could batch record and batch edit, and truthfully, like when you're starting off in YouTube, the social expectation on having an upload cadence kind of doesn't exist. So if you took like Adrian Per, perfect example, has a gigantic following on TikTok and Instagram. I think spent like a few months making enough videos to post daily for, I don't know how long he's going to post daily for, but he's been producing all these videos for like 6 months, and he's just dropping them now. But he spent all that time like front loading the editing, and now he can get real life data by posting daily, and maybe in like 2 months, whenever he's going to not have videos anymore, he can look at that data and find out what works and then kind of slow himself down as he goes. So I would just say, like, just take some time in the hyperbolic time chamber to make some videos. No one's expecting you to make content right this second, but as long as you're working on it, then I think you're fine. You used to live in Jersey. You get pulled over for being For being what? Cole, updates on that Vantru N5 giveaway. Absolutely. Vantru reached out to me today. That video, I have yet to decide which video it's going to be on, but it should be anywhere between the 16th and the 28th when we're going to announce that. Basically, on my Vantru video, if you guys have not seen it, I'm giving away a Vantru Nexus 5. Which is great because, I mean, it's not going to stop someone from smashing my windows, but I find that when people want to, like, rob stuff out of your driveway, they probably, like, look around, look inside first, and if they pause and they don't get it that day, at least I know and I'm aware of the fact that somebody is looking to steal things from my car. So, might be a little bit of a deterrent, and I wish I had it before my car got broken into, but also wish that if they did break into my car, they didn't steal the dash cam, so there's that. IBVS, I ran more... Oh, ran a few red lights. I've not ran a red, but I've definitely sped. And then I caught myself speeding, and I'm like, that was dumb. Slow down. So, yeah, I mean, again, it's still a dumb thing to speed. It's a dumb thing to speed repeatedly, but I would be a hypocrite if I would just go up on the internet and start berating someone for speeding, pretending as if I didn't do it myself, so... what did you use to find editors/colorists for your videos, as well as people to help with video production, and how do you certify them? Three Wizards Productions, you're going to hear a fun story. So, editors, Zach actually came to me at NAB, which was, like, threw me off, because, at the time, that was 2022. And he said, like, hey, I'm an editor, like, I'd love to edit your videos and stuff, I like the work that you're doing, and at the time, I didn't know how to delegate things, so I was like, that's really great and endearing. I don't know how to explain, I don't know how to work in that workflow where I give it to somebody else. So maybe at a later time. And I think that NAB was April. First video we did was end of December. So actually, no, it was last year. So when I went to Ghana last year, we did a couple of videos. I did really, really well. And I figured, I'm like, hey, I can record A-roll pretty well. I'm pretty good at getting B-roll. Let me send it to Zach and he can start working on it. And for a long time, he was just cutting A-roll. I would get B-roll throughout the weeks or the months or whatever, and I would place it into the videos. I put on the titles. I would still do a lot of that lifting, and then I would do that. And as sponsors came in, as the channel started making money, I would give him more responsibilities to take over and pay him more money and scale that thing up. Now Zach does. I'm gonna start doing this kind of talking head series. It's kind of it's almost like the live stream. I'm gonna start doing that a little bit more, and we're gonna do one every single week, and then we'll have 3 or 4 kind of higher produced videos, which kind of gives a little bit of space and time. But it's all about starting off wherever you're at and then scaling that way all the way up, right? And that also, the editor gets used to your style and how you communicate and stuff too. So you want to keep in mind of those things. In terms of working with colorists, again, a lot of the how to work with other people, I think you have to think of it more as a pull strategy than a push strategy. And it's really hard to do that because you have to come face to face with having to be more out there in a way that other people will notice in an organic way. So what I mean by pull people is I didn't necessarily reach out looking for a colorist. I would work on my own projects and color them, and colorists would ask, hey, I can do X, Y, and Z. So the more stuff I had put out, the more people in those roles would reach out to help in that process, rather than always saying I need an editor and a colorist and playing the game of oh, how much is your budget or how good are you, and going back and forth. Certifying them is kind of like owning a clothing brand. Honestly, when you own a clothing brand, you buy a bunch of samples and you spend a bunch of samples. They're not refundable, and you're basically trying the material and stuff out, making different tweaks until you find the right sample. And sometimes you can go through thousands of dollars of samples so you get the right one. With certifying people's roles and stuff, you might go through hundreds of dollars and a lot of time doing it, but unfortunately, you have to kind of trial run people here and there because some people could look good on their portfolio and then show up to set and it's not great. But I've had a good team, so we're awesome. I have to head to work now. Keep up the good work. Have a wonderful night. Headshots. You as well. This is a wonderful shot and lighting. Very balanced. Thank you, man. I'm always kind of skeptical because this is a lot of warm lighting, but it looks good to me, and I guess it looks good to you. Please stop with the speeding chats. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm tired. It's tired. I could care less anymore. Again, man apologized. He identified it. We're hoping he doesn't do it again. But if Marquez Brownlee was the only person that speeds in North America, well then, this would be a bigger issue, but whatever. Wait, hang on a second. Oh, actually, I'm almost caught up to all these comments too. What was your thoughts on the YouTube drama of the dude calling out Cam and Jeff? Jeff, I don't know who Jeff is. Do I know who Jeff is? I don't know who Jeff is. Because I thought he was wrong, but I know you would be coming from someone on the inside of those things. So Aaron, hang on a second. I'm going to try to read that again so I make sure that I answer that in the way that I think that you asked it. So I think the whole, like, let's call out YouTubers thing. Unfortunately, what's happened now is, again, I think we talked about this in a previous chat. There are people that have come to the platform from whatever walk of life they come from. And I think they came in with a preconceived notion on what their traction and what their experience is going to be. And when you have to come face to face with that not being the case while simultaneously watching people occupying kind of the same spaces, you get things that you want to have. Instead of worrying about watering your own grass, you start peeing on everybody else's. The weird part about kind of like, especially people just kind of going after Cam, which was a really weird thing, is a lot of people, I think, assumed how Cam's business works and assumed how his analytics work and assumed how all this other stuff works. And the reason why I think even I came into the comments and I'm like, hey, if you're going to critique a YouTuber hoping that you're being transparent, then the accuracy of that critique has to be accurate as well, or we're just the pot calling the kettle black. And I think, like, for example, I think one of the notions where that YouTubers had to kind of the shill word, we'll use it that. And I have a funny relationship with that word because it kind of just sounds like another S word that men use when they don't get something they want from somebody else. But hey, different story. But when people do that, what they don't understand is, and truthfully, from working on the brand deal side, brands don't pay that much money to do reviews and stuff relative to other things that aren't actually physical products. So for example, I mentioned this on Threads where my biggest sponsor, I think for the year, was Artlist, a company that doesn't necessarily need me to talk about camera gear in order to sponsor things. And they did so for a significant part of 2024. In fact, they were more intrigued and wanted to re-sign after the first little wave of videos because I talked about camera gear, but I shot spec projects and posted them using Artlist's product because I like Artlist and they make really good stuff. But there wasn't this but in terms of the money and some of those things, it's not, hey, push this piece of camera gear in front of people. So the notion that a channel would die if they didn't make camera gear videos, I don't think that's exactly true. I think it's actually a way that people track audience behavior. Because if I put up a video, and I've done this before, and other creators have too, when you put up a video of behind the scenes or technique or the other stuff, people don't show up. And that may impact the optics to a brand in terms of doing a brand deal, because they might use views as their value metric. So that becomes a little bit more turbulent. So when people make gear videos, I think it's a way of tracking the audience to attach brands. But realistically, in terms of like the pie chart of the sponsors that are able to have a lot of budget for stuff, typically it's not gear companies, to be honest with you. And also, like in Cam's particular unique case, and I know him personally, and I've known him for, I guess, a couple years now. If he's not interested in something, he's not going to talk about it. And I'm not going to put his business out there, but there are things where I know that he's not interested in that also were paid. And he's like, I don't feel like doing this and I'm not going to. So I don't know. It's a weird thing, but I think where that sparks from is people that I think had a certain level of entitlement to the platform, didn't get it. And now they're making it everybody else's problem. Hang on a second. Aaron, facts, but one thing that scares me about starting my channel because I see y'all comments. Aaron, I think that's like to your point, and I think you make a valid point, and this is exactly the reason why I made the Lumix video after the Japan trip. It had very little to do with my relationship with people in the comments and stuff, but had a lot to do with exactly what you just said, and that now we've made this toxic side of the community where new creators don't want to participate because they're watching what other people are doing to each other. And if they don't want to be part of the whole making drama about how somebody makes money while not actually knowing who that person is, that's where you're going to run into some problems, right? So I hope that's not a discouragement to you. I'll say it's very uncommon. I think what happened is from knowing Cam personally and knowing stuff, And also watching his content, and too, he's not afraid to push back on people that may have negative opinions about him, which I think is more like, I think it's more admirable. We wanted more authentic creators. We also have to take that authenticity when it's inconvenient. And if you decide that you are going to take your grown self, go online and say something rude and someone says it back, you have to be willing to accept that. And I think because Cam's the type of person where he will wear his heart on his sleeve and he'll say what he means, I think people have made trying to pick on him trendy, but at the same time, numbers don't lie. His sub count doubled this year. So there, it is what it is. Again, this is me making a lot of assumptions about a person who's not also standing beside me with the microphone. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. And Cam, if you're watching this, or if I'm wrong, send me a text and yell at me, because you could do that. If we have a problem with texting. We've not had problems though. So yeah, Aaron, I don't think you should not want to participate in the YouTube filmmaking space because a small amount of people decide to take that sort of route in order to gain an audience. Because unfortunately, and these people don't even know this, is that you're drinking poison hoping the other person dies. What you're going to do is you're going to attribute all this toxic stuff to try to call out the YouTubers or whatever the case is. And then what ends up happening is that's your brand. Now, brands don't want to work with those people. And also the people that might use YouTube comment sections in place of maybe getting therapy or professional help for mental illness will also be there piping you up, and you'll think you're doing something right because you have 100 comments on this video of you calling somebody out, and then you produce more of that content. But if you don't feel that way all the time, and maybe things go well for you and you want to share that, that's no longer part of your brand. So now you're not allowed to be happy on your own channel. So I don't know. That's just me talking and talking. That's just me talking, really. Sorry. How do you deal with brands reaching out to use a small creator in your first stages? Did you charge a fee for sponsored video? And also, when was it okay to label video as sponsored video? Generally speaking, for me, if something was given to me, I'll just tell you. I'll just be like, hey, they gave it to me. And my assumption up until people really got into the weeds on semantics is that if I tell you that a company sent me something, assume that they sent it to me for free. Everything I say after that sentence, whatever you attribute that thing that I got for free, hence the videos being made, I thought we were in agreement that like that was kind of the, I don't even know, the agreement is that if I got something for free, then if you think that there's bias there, awesome. If there's not, cool. But I also encourage consuming more than one video. But yeah, if something I got for free, I'll just tell you. If something's sponsored, I'll tell you it's sponsored. What's new is that if something is going to be a brand collab and I speak highly of it, it's because I had a hand in helping it being made. Spoiler alert for later on this month. But yeah, as long as you tell people a video is sponsored or you got it for free or you were sent on this thing, reasonability would understand that they heard what you said. They know what that means. Oh, and how I deal with companies when they reached out at the beginning. If they wanted a dedicated video or it was something that was monetary value that I needed already, I'd have to be a little bit discerning for that. But like my turnaround between doing the first sponsored video and working with brand deals, I had only done like one paid video and I had an agent right after. So it's kind of a tough question, but I think, you know, charge a half day rate on your first video. If they want a dedicated video of you going through all the stuff and producing, charge a half day and go from there. And you totally can charge a fee. I think, and brands 1000% will abandon the conversation when you ask for money, because they, generally speaking, a lot of brands, especially small creators, don't expect to pay money. If it's something you're not interested in, then you saved yourself, to be honest with you. Cam's not afraid to push back is a nice way to say they were curse your ass if you had to. Absolutely, man. You don't play. Uncle Cam don't play, bro. And to be fair, the audience on YouTube in our space is between the ages of like 26 and 45. So when we're talking about like some of the stuff that like this whole weird call out culture that's kind of weird and kind of teenager, we're talking about people that can go to war, start families, and lead households. So like I think that's where it gets a bit more, even more vitriolic, is that some of these people are grown adults, in my opinion. Okay, cool. I didn't get that wrong. Thank God. Oh, wait. hang on a second. I'm going to try to broadcast. Did it work? No, it didn't. Kofi the nail on the head. Anyone scared to start YouTube because of the toxic side? They're crying babies, plane full of adults. They're loud. Don't let them fool you. Yeah, that's literally, don't let the loud minority of people stop you from making YouTube videos. I think when it was really disheartening when the Lumix stuff came out, and I could throw sarcasm back. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm gonna be totally fine. Toot my own horn. The channel went up by like 22,000 subscribers since that day. But what happened is that on the Lumix trip, and I'm getting some inside baseball on the Lumix trip, is there was a lot of small creators that went, a lot of creators that didn't have a lot of subscribers at the time. And a lot of them were like, hey, I don't feel like making videos anymore because I made a video about a camera that I enjoyed using, albeit I went to Japan for it. And I'm essentially getting verbally abused for it because another creator had made a video saying how bad of a thing it is to take on those trips. And I thought that was really upsetting to see and to hear. And I think that's when I started making the videos, or at least like pointing it out and talking about it, is that, again, most creators that are going to have longevity in the space have no problem with new people coming in and trying to take cues of what they see and doing that to grow their own channel, because we do the same things. Yeah, again, don't let the negative minority kind of dictate whether or not you want to be somewhere. Toxic people in the space are crybabies. Y'all heard what Cam said. Like, he's been very vocal about his stances, and I for 99.9% of it, I agree with it. I don't think trying to pick on somebody is trendy, and I think if you're going to be somebody who's going to like kind of reveal what's under the curtain in terms of YouTube, I think you should actually be in the positions by which you're talking about, so it comes from a place of actually knowing what you're talking about and not what you feel like is happening. Because then again, we just get into this weird part where now we're just saying half truths, not realizing any difference from it, and then the audience who also doesn't know is going to lead with those same things, and then it becomes a giant mess. Anyways, I don't like talking about that stuff anymore. How do you guys break down filming client work but also doing BTS so you can feel free for YouTube channel? How do you find the time? Edmund, I've been hiring somebody, man. Like, if y'all don't follow Rich Nix, he's an amazing photographer, really great at BTS. I hire people. And usually me hiring people to shoot BTS comes from some of the sponsorship money or my AdSense or maybe out of pocket. I'll bring somebody in. And with clients, because I'm in a fitness niche, so like client work, they normally don't want to spend as much money. My agreement is, sure, we could try to scale the budget down, but I'm bringing BTS and I'm going to make money from a sponsored deal or somewhere else in order to help the budget that I didn't get to pull for myself, but I'll use it for everybody else. Geez, I'm feeling old now. John, you ain't old. You're seasoned. There's a difference. Old is a choice. Seasoning, we like seasoned. I'm gonna have to get off in like 6 minutes at max. Dude, if you ever visit the Caribbean, hit me up. Trinidad and Tobago, beautiful place for content creation, specifically Tobago. 1,000%. I definitely want to go. I may have to, because I'm trying to do every continent in 1 year. Lofty goal and super expensive, so I'm not going to do that. But hopefully in 2025 or 2026. Hey, James Jackson in the building. Bro, you got to get back on YouTube. I used to watch a lot of, like, you had more regular uploads, and now I don't see them anymore, and it makes me sad. River, people hating on Cam are secretly inspired by Cam and wish they were him. Yeah, I would say, and again, this is kind of a blanket statement for a lot of people that have these like anti people on YouTube takes. Generally speaking, they're not working a lot. Because you would have, like, if you were working a lot, you wouldn't have time to like try to dig at this random person you don't know. People that are successful don't find time to talk about others. So that's a really good point. Question, when you set up Video Village, does the transmitter go on the camera? Whoa, hang on a second. When you set up Video Village, does the transmitter go on the camera and receiver on the monitor? Yes. I don't know, like I might read this wrong, but yes, you would plug it. So like if I want to reduce latency, I would put my transmitter, my transmitter would go on my camera. And then my receiver would go on the monitor that would be receiving the signal from the camera. I hope I answered that right. I feel like that's a trick question. I don't know. Yo, Kofi, loving the live session. Love your African tribal shirt. So it's not, so Baba, brother from Kenya, I'm pretty sure. Not tribal shirt, but it definitely is made in Africa. But I want to get more of these made. I only have like 2 or 3 that I rotate through quite a bit. I do a lot of laundry on these, and they actually like wash pretty nice. But I want to try to make this like a mainstay outfit on the channel with a couple of variants. So there's that. Appreciate y'all. About to head out. Thank you for you and Cam's realness. Respects, Aaron. Yeah, if you want to know people that encourage new people coming in, if you want to know people that encourage new people coming into the space, we have like a whole conversation in our group chat about like new people we've seen like making videos that we really like. And I'm not afraid to comment when someone does something good, and I try my best to comment on like new channels as I see them. Just know that in like watching all of the toxicity going around, like there are definitely people that are big creators, I guess, quote unquote, that are rooting for you to kind of go in and excel in a way that you want to show up and actually provide value to the audience. Jay, ever considered moving to the US? Yes, but no, I don't think so. Especially not now. But also like in terms of the work visas and immigration and doing all that stuff, it's super long of a process to maybe not get the ROI that I think I'm going to get, especially when things shift more into YouTube where I can do it from anywhere I want. But it's cool to go there and visit my friends, which I'm going to do in 45 minutes. James, it's in the work. Had a lot of big projects this year. That's good to hear. Have a bit more free time. Excellent. That's dope. Tim, what up? You might be on the tail end of this live stream though, Tim. Evan, Kofi's a goat for commenting on new channels. Can confirm. Hey, so Evan's also done BTS as well. He's great too. He's a crazy rock climber. I can't do that. I literally can't do that. I've tried. Really dope. Thank you, man. Really pushing YouTube in 2025. What's one piece of advice to help me stay consistent? Don't try to eat an elephant in one bite. I don't know if that makes sense. That analogy might be really busted. But the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. You don't need to make the longest, most in-depth, crazy thing about, like, in any video. One thing, there's only like 2 or 3 things I listened to from Mark when we were talking about my channel a couple years ago. And one thing is most people will subscribe to your channel if you've taught them like one thing. So from all the things that you know, which could be thousands of things, try one. Just get one. If you could do one, awesome. And eventually you'll see subscribers that'll subscribe because you taught them one thing and they're stuck with you for life. For example, like the most successful video I think on the channel is multi-cam interviews with a single camera. And people learned weird tricks that I did when I didn't have money for 2 cameras. And that was enough for people to stay there for life. So you want to consider that. What is a black magic? Oh, sorry. Pixis camera. Sorry, the Blackmagic Pixis is a camera. Hey. So if you guys don't know who Ori is, he's in the cut right now. A lot of my financial freedom is courtesy of Ori. Ori is my brand manager at Creator. This man has single-handedly, truthfully, realistically, has changed a lot of how I live my life. So thank you for that. Crispy setup. What would be your ultimate setup to shoot content with or vlog, capture footage if you could use only a mobile pocket cameras? I really want to try that Fuji XM5, man. Like, I think if that was, like, if we're not talking about phones, just like small cameras, Fuji XM5, which is less money, if Lumix could make smaller lenses, I would use the S9 a lot more. They have their small kit lens. Those two, if money's no option. Or if I can get an ND filter for my iPhone 16 Pro Max, I would use that more, but I don't have one, so there's that. Tim, I would suggest have things in the bag. Yeah, also have things in the bag. Like, plan ahead, man. Because, like, when you start YouTube, nobody knows. So you can plan as far ahead as you'd like. Creative Blog. Hey, man. Hope you're doing well. Oh, that's Carlos' podcast, I think. I hope it is. Oh, I might be wrong. But what up? Love your work, Carlo. Wait, Giancarlo. Wow, I'm bad. I'm so sorry. Or is it? Oh, frig. Okay, well, my brain gapped. I'm sorry. Don't have an answer. Any thoughts on Justin Trudeau's news today? Jay, no. I don't know what's gonna. I don't know what happens when a prime minister resigns. I don't know if I've been alive when one has happened. But I don't think we're gonna know until like we have our election, and we don't know if even if we pick the right person till like 4 years after the election, anyways. So we all don't know. We're all hoping for the best, but again, with politics, I don't hold my breath. Definitely a good piece of advice, James. Yeah, there you go. Evan Zucker, when do you think it's worthwhile to invest in a brand manager since Ori is here? Or if you want to answer that, that'd be awesome. But I think the best time is when you already have a lot of inbound and you just don't want to deal with emails. Or you notice that there's a lot of traction going into your profiles, like as things are growing and things are growing and doing things consistently. That might be something where you have that, right? I think we talked in mid convo about brand management and stuff like that, especially with brand deals. And it was the idea of like, you could either take 100% of getting something that's a lowball offer because you might not necessarily know what to charge particular brands, and sometimes it's different every time. I'd rather take 15 or 85% of something and give the 15 away to an agency than take 100% of whatever that lowball offer is, which is less money than the 85% to begin with. Oh, there's a lot of people coming in here later in the chat, and Nick Friend. Okay, my bad, Nick. I think Giancarlo Sigliano's podcast, I think it's called The Creative Block, or something like that. So that was my bad. Makes complete sense. Yeah, this is cool. The community's helping themselves. So maybe this Discord might be a good idea. Hey, Tim is here. Y'all know each other too. Okay, cool. Have I used Visa lenses? I'm probably spelling it wrong. I don't know what lenses those are. Okay, I'm dying to try. Oh, but I do have a podcast. Hey, if you ever want to do an episode, I don't know if I fit your thing. If I do, awesome. But yeah, that'd be cool. Lumix Leica needs some stabilized lenses. One thing that bothers me about the L-mount Alliance. Yeah. Lumix, they could do so many things. And I think the hard part is that they need more operating budget to do so. But there's a lot of like small little things Lumix can do to have a really good contending camera. And hopefully whenever they decide to drop the S1H2. Yeah, S1H2. Whenever they decide to release that, or just like their new gen of hybrid cameras, I think that'll do really well. As long as they change, like they're listening to feedback, which I hope and I think they are. What do you think of the Sigma 16mm f1.4? Brick by brick is a classic. For the FX30, I think it'll do fine. I think it'll be fine. The Creative Gap, my bad. Yeah, okay, you're right, Groovy. I messed it up. Carlos Creative Gap. Yeah, I got that wrong. My bad. Or you know what we should do one of these days? I might have to fly to LA to do this. No, or I think you're in New York. If you guys want to see a live stream with Ori, leave a 1 in the chat. Oh, okay, hang on. Nick, I think I have you in IGDMs. I don't know if it goes to suggested or not. If you can, send it to my email. Or just before today is over, send it to me on Instagram again. Sometimes messages don't send at all, or like I'll get them, I'll answer, or I'll plan to answer later, and then it just sends itself like 50 messages down, even though it happened more recently than the messages that are at the top. So IG is kind of weird. So there's that. Samuel Boateng. Ganafo. Chale, are you going to CES this year? Yes, I am. I'm going to CES like right now. So I'm going to answer a couple more questions, then I'm going to wrap things up because somebody's girlfriend, which is mine, has to drive me to the airport. But there's that. Yeah, so looks like there's a ton of ones in the chat. Ori, after the stream, on my way to the airport, I'm going to send you a message, and maybe we could set up a live stream. I think that actually would be kind of dope. I think a lot of people want to know about working with a brand manager and getting brand deals and stuff. So it'd be cool. Oh, okay, you're in LA. All right, bet. I don't go to LA until NAB, but we'll talk after this. We'll try to set something up. I think that'd be really cool to put on the stream and then talking about brand deals and stuff like that. Because I think a lot of the YouTube community that they think they know how brand deals work, it's not the same. It's not at all. 75% of people that haven't worked on brand deals like that don't actually know how it works. So, David's filmmaking. Are you gonna do recap? I don't know if I'm gonna do recap of CES yet, because I don't know how long I'm gonna be there for. So I might be only there for like a couple hours on one of the days, or I might be there for a super long time. I haven't decided yet, but if I do, yeah, I would love to do a recap. Would love to chat. Yeah, okay. So full time as a creator, would love to see most likely. Nick, if I find myself in Nashville, which I think Connor moved from Nashville, or he's moving. If I do, awesome. But we'll chat. If hopefully there's a time where we can link up and kind of do that. Podcasts are fun. For the Kofi for the people, for real, and much love to Ori for the assist too. Yeah, man. I'm gonna wrap this chat. I'm gonna wrap this stream up. I should say, not the chat, but I'm gonna wrap up the stream. Ori, we'll talk. We'll try to get on something. There is a nice. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Ori got one more question. We're gonna leave it. This is what we're leaving the chat with. This is what we're leaving the stream with. Gotta ask you one thing for the fun of it. If you can own any product from any brand, no matter the cost, but the moment you get it, the brand never makes anything again, what would you choose? I would choose an Ari Alexa 65. Because at that point, what would they make after? Where do you go from the Alexa 65? And like Ari's known for using their sensor in just different variations over and over again. So if they don't make one, I mean, like, my expectations wouldn't get higher than that. So yeah, I'd buy an Ari Alexa 65, which is a cop-out. It's an easy answer, but hey, it is what it is. Boboth, we're going to save that one. We're going to answer in the next one because I actually have to leave. I have to turn this off and I have to go to the airport and get my passport because I don't know where that is. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in again. More live streams soon. Don't have a schedule just yet, but thank you for everyone that came in. Thank you for everyone that sent super chats. We had some fun. So we'll talk about things in a little bit. But also, I'm not leaving the filmmaking niche. I'm just changing up how I show up. But hope you guys have a good week. It's Monday. All right. See you later.